class. Okay, complex to simple. Complex to simple, dear learners, complex, the sentences can be divided in two ways, on the basis of meaning and on the basis of structures. On the basis of meaning, there are five in number, the assertive, interrogative, operative, imperative, and exclamatory sentence. And on the basis of structure, there are three in number: simple, complex, and compound. And they have interchanges from compound to simple, simple to compound, compound to complex, complex to compound, and complex to simple. And they have interchanges, and they are very much important. And it is an art to put forward or table a language artistically, very charmingly, and English is not exception. And the same sentence cannot be used in any composition. This is a variety of English language. And so if somebody wants to learn how to write well and how to speak well, he will have to know the rules of transforming from one form to another form of sentences. So as a part of that expedition, today I am going to discuss rule-wise from complex to simple. Complex is a sentence. Complex is a sentence. Simple is another sentence. But complex, we know complex has two clauses. Complex has two clauses and simple has no clause. So now we'll have to make simple out of complex. Complex has two subjects, two finite verbs. On the contrary, simple has one subject and one finite verb. So it's a very tough job to make a chair out of table. That means if you think complex is a table and simple is a chair, you'll have to know what is what. For that reason, I'd like to mention again that complex is a sentence in which we find at least two clauses, main clause and subordinate clause. And on the contrary, simple is a sentence. Simple sentence is a sentence in which we do not find any clause. It is simply a sentence and it is independent. And complex sentence is also independent, but it has two clauses. One is main clause, another is subordinate clause. But in some cases, subordinate clause may be more than one. But usually, we find complex in a complex sentence or two clauses: main clause and subordinate clause. And if we want to, but on the contrary, simple sentence has only one subject and one finite verb. So anyway, we'll have to remove or omit one subject and one finite verb if we want to make simple sentence. Because simple sentence is like a chair, complex sentence is like a table. If I want to make a chair itself has its own shape, own size, so own art. In the same way, simple will have to do something to complex sentence so that it may become a simple sentence. Okay, number wise I'll discuss. And complex to simple. One thing I'd like to tell you before I go to the rules of transforming complex to simple, that as complex has two clauses. Let me give you an example. Suppose when I saw him, he was going to market. Dear listeners, you see, when I saw him is one part, another is he was going to market. This is complex sentence because it has been, two clauses has been joined by a subordinating conjunction, that is when. Here we see two clauses. One, of course, one is main clause, another is subordinate clause. But which one should I turn in? Should I change main clause or subordinate clause? In that case, you will have to remember one thing. You will have to change subordinate clause. But how should I make the difference between subordinate clause and main clause? Here, why the clause which is independent and it needs it doesn't need to depend on another clause for making complete sense or complete meaning. That is main clause. And subordinate clause, as it is subordinate. Subordinate means it is under somebody or something. Subordinate clause cannot make any complete meaning without the help of another clause. That means subordinate clause is dependent on main clause. But how could we understand or how could we make the difference between main clause and subordinate clause? Is there any easy way? Yes, there is an easy way. If you look at the conjunction, it would be easier for us to find out which one is main clause and which one is subordinate clause. Here, the clause which begins with any conjunction, the clause which begins with any conjunction, suppose when, as, since, because, or if, though, although, etc. You will have to think that is subordinate clause. And the clause which doesn't begin with any conjunction, suppose here you see he was going to market, it has no, it doesn't begin with any conjunction, so it is main clause. But now we will have to think which one should we change. We will have to change subordinate clause. Which one is subordinate clause? Here, when I saw him, this is subordinate clause, and this one is main clause. Okay, now I will discuss rule wise. Rule, it would be better for you to understand. Rule 1. Rule 1, here, suppose as, since, because. If we find any complex sentence having as, since, because, such type of conjunctions, we will have to transform that type of complex sentence into simple by adding ing form, by adding present participle, usually present participle, and we will have to change one clause into a phrase. Let me give you example. Suppose as complex, as he was ill, he could not go to college. Here, dear learners, you see as he was ill. It is the subordinate clause, and he could not go to college, main clause. Now we'll have to change subordinate clause. Here, simple sentence. we'll have to use here ing form. That is present participle. Present participle is a form of a verb in which we add ing to the base form, any base form of any verb. That is present participle. That means ing verb. We can use an easy term, that is ing verb. Ing verb. Here we can see two subjects, he and he. Two subject, verb, two verb, was, and here main verb go. And as we will have to change subordinate clause, let us omit he, also the conjunction. Here we have, as we will have to change subordinate clause, and we will have to add ing here, and we have to use ing to the base form or present form of main verb. Here main verb is was. So we cannot add ing to was. It would not be wasing. Rather, we'll have to find out which one is base form of was. We know was is here to be verb. That means be. So we will have to add ing to the base form be. So here simple would be being ill, there must be comma, being ill, here he could not go to college. He could not go to college. Dear learners, you can see here in the given sentence, complex sentence, as he was ill, he could not go to college. The same subject, he and he, same subject. As it is complex sentence, we have used a conjunction, that is as, and as will be omitted because simple sentence doesn't have any conjunction. Simple sentence doesn't have any conjunction. As a result, we will have to omit the conjunction as well as the subject, and also the verb will turn into ing form, and accordingly I have done that. Being ill, he could not go to college. I think you are able to understand this. This is very, if you follow this minutely, I think it would be very much easy for you to understand. And let me give you another, in the same sentence, there is same subject. But if we find any different subjects in the same sentence, this rule a little bit will be different. Suppose complex the weather was bad. So there should be a conjunction. As the weather was bad, we did not go out. Dear learners, you see here the weather is one subject, one type of subject, we is another type of subject. But we know there will be one subject and one finite verb. But in this case, this is exceptional. Subject we cannot, as there are two different subjects, we cannot omit the subject. The subject will remain sensed, will remain unsensed, but the verb will be sensed. The verb of the subordinate clause must be sensed. Here you see, as the weather was bad. It is very much easy. When you will see such type of complex sentence, to be verb, you will use only being in the case of to be verb, being, and other words will remain the same. Suppose simple, as it is complex sentence, so we are going to turn this into simple. As will be omitted. The weather, as the subjects are different, so both the subjects will remain same. The weather, you see here was, the base form of was is being. The weather being bad, comma, we did not go out. Dear learners, you see, rule number one. In the rule number one, we see two types of sub rules. Suppose one type of complex which has one subject, single subject, and another type of complex that has two different subjects. So in the case of same subject, we will have to omit one subject and one will remain. And in the case of different subjects, we will have to keep both the subjects and we will have to change only the verb. Here I have done so. The weather being bad, we did not go out. So very easy if you follow this. Only ing form has been added to the base form of the to be verb. And let me go to next rule, rule 2. Rule 2. Now we'll discuss when, also ing. I would like to make the rule easier, so I am following the easy rule. When the complex sentence is composed of when two clauses are joined by the conjunction when, we will also use ing form. And let me show you the example. And complex when he saw a tiger. When he saw a tiger, he ran away. Dear listeners, dear learners, you see, I have given an example. There is when he saw a tiger, he ran away. You know, tiger is a very ferocious animal, and this is very much dangerous. And tigers, they eat up the people, human beings, and other animals. So a man, when he sees any tiger, cannot remain beside the tiger. So this is very usual to go away. When he saw a tiger, he ran away. Here, subject is saying he, and when. And we will have to use ing to make a complex. But with which verb should we add ing? Ing should be added to the verb of the subordinate clause saw. But saw is past form, we know. So ing is added to the base form or main present form of the verb. See is the present form of saw. So let us do that. Simple. Simple is simple. Here seeing a tiger, he ran away. Seeing a tiger, he ran away. Very simple. Here there is a different rule of subject. We know subject can be a noun or pronoun. If the subject in one part, in one clause is pronoun and in another clause is noun, what will happen? Which one should we change? Suppose when Korim never dies. This example name never dies. When Korim will be a doctor, he will serve the patients. When Korim will be a doctor, he will serve the patients. Here, dear learners, you see, we know that we'll have to change the subject clause. That means when Korim will be a doctor, he will serve the patients. We'll have to change this. We'll have to omit the subject. But here is a problem. The subject is here noun, Korim. Korim is the subject of subject clause, and pronoun is the subject of the main clause. But who is that? Korim is a noun. So if we are to, there is a rule. If we are to omit or deduct any subject, we'll have to deduct or omit the pronoun. So this noun is the main identity of he. As a result, Korim will be transferred to he. That means Korim will replace he. Here, Korim will come here and he will be omitted. This rule should be followed. Let us make it simple. Here, when Korim will be a doctor, that means will helping verb when conjunction, and Korim will replace he, and will helping verb will be omitted, and be is main verb. So let me show you. Being a doctor, comma, here in the place of he, Korim will be used. Doctor, Korim will serve the patients. So this rule is a little bit different. In the last example, you have seen both the subjects are pronouns. So which one you will omit, which one you will not omit, it's not a matter. But here you see one subject is noun, another subject is pronoun. So in this case, pronoun subject will be omitted and noun subject will remain, and it would be transferred to main clause. Okay, I think you you have understood the difference between the two types of subjects, noun and pronoun. And rule number 3. Rule number 3. If is a conjunction, subordinating conjunction. Of course, if joins two clauses to make a complex. If we see if plus affirmative, the system will be to change if clause into a noun clause. We will have to use by plus ing. That means by plus gerund. Very easy. In the same way, we will have to transform complex into simple. You will have to follow only the conjunction. Let me give you the example. But one thing you will have to follow, the clause, if clause is affirmative or negative, you will have to follow that. There is a problem if you don't try to make the difference between them complex. If you will succeed. If you read properly, you will succeed. Here, accordingly, you see this is subordinate clause. This is subordinate clause. If you read properly, you will succeed. If you read, I have given you the rule. If you want to make simple, that by plus, if is conjunction, it will be omitted. You subject will be omitted. Here read. Read is here present form. So by reading, the ing form will be added to read. So by reading properly, comma, you will succeed. Dear listeners, I would like to give you some examples of succeed. Succeed word has various forms. Suppose succeed is verb, successful is adjective, success is noun, successfully adverb, and successor is an agent, that is also noun. So you will have to follow that. And next rule, negative. If you see negative form after if, this next rule is that rule number 4. In short, we want to understand if we find such type of complex sentence, that means if not, that means after if we will find negative form. We will have to make simple in another way. In the place of by, we will have to use without plus gerund, that means ing. In short, you may bear this in your mind. If you see this, if plus not, that means a negative form, negative clause after if, you will have to use without in the place of by. But other things will be the same. Let me give you an example. Complex. if you love others, you will get, if you do not love others, you will not get love from others. If you do not love others, you will not get love from others. This conditional, there is here, there is a condition. If you love others, you will get love from others, and if you do not love others, you will not get love from others. This is conditional. If makes conditional sentences, that is different discussion. I will discuss that conditional sentences in another session, but not today. Here you see, if you do not love others, you will not get love from others. So here, negative. After if, we see negative. If you do not. So in this case, we'll have to use without. Simple. Without loving others, comma, you will not get love from others. You will not get love from others. Without loving others, you will not get love from others. Very simple. Actually, it is a matter of remembering the rules. And rules and regulations are laws. We cannot make them. The grammarians have made those rules by analyzing for years. So we cannot make rules ourselves. We have to remember, we have to bear those rules in our mind. So when if not, that means when we find any negative clause after if, we will have to use without. And when we find affirmative, we will have to use by, and other rules are same. Let me move to another rule. Rule number 5. Here, very usual rules. If you find any that, so that, in order that, what should you do in that case? We have to write the first portion of the sentence. Then in the place of so that or in order that, we'll have to use only to. And after to, there will be B1, that means the present form of the main verb plus extension, that means the rest of the sentence. Very easy, very much easy rule. Let me give you an example. It indicates such type of complex sentence indicate purpose. Suppose complex, he works hard he works hard that, or so that, or in order that he may succeed in life. Dear learners, you see, he works hard that, or so that, or in order that, so that, or in order that, both three conjunctions give us same meaning. So if we find any of them, that, or so that, or in order that, in the middle of any complex sentence, we'll have to use the same rule. That means we'll have to write firstly, he works hard. That means the preceding portion, or first portion of the main clause here. Main clause is here. He works hard. Main clause. We'll have to first write the main clause when we go to make it simple. He works. As you know, we have to change subordinate clause. So he may succeed in life. That is subordinate clause. So we'll have to change that portion, that clause, and main clause is here. Has come first. He works hard. So I am going to write that he works hard, and in the place of that, or in the place of that, or so that, or in order that, I'll use only two. And we know after two, the base form or present form of the main verb is used here. That, or in order, so that, in order that, will be omitted. He will not be used after two. May, helping verb. Succeed is here main verb, and succeed is already at the present form. So very easy. We will use only succeed and the rest of the sentence, complex sentence. So he works hard to succeed in life. He works hard to succeed in life. To succeed. Succeed in life. To succeed in life. It is an infinitive phrase, and this gives the same meaning. Purpose. It indicates purpose. That indicates purpose. So that, in order that, indicates purpose of the subject. So here you see, he works hard to succeed in life. If you, dear learners, if you find such type of conjunction, that, so that, in any complex sentence, you will turn that complex sentence into simple in the same way. You will write the first portion first, then in the place of that, or so that, or in order that, you will use two, only two. Then you will find out the main verb, and the present form of the main verb will be used, and the rest of the sentence as I have done here. Thank you. And then rule number 6. Rule number 6 here. So that. We'll turn such type of complex by using to in the place of so, to in the place of that, and accordingly B1 plus extension or rest of the sentence. So dot dot that. Dear listeners, dear viewers, you will have to follow the differences. We have already in the rule of number 5, we have seen that, so that, in order that is one type of that, and that is another type of that. In those types of sentences, we do not find any so. Here you will get surplus so, but in that type of sentence you will not find any so. You will find only that, so that, or in order that. But here in this sentence you will find not only that but also so. So it is a different type of it's a different type of sentence. So that always will not indicate the purpose. So you will have to find the difference between two type of that's. One that is preceded by so, and there are correlative, so dot dot that, and this rule will be different. That is 2, 2. Let me give you the example. It will be clear. Complex. He is so weak. This is like a proverb. He is so weak that. Everybody knows this example. He is so weak that he cannot walk. He cannot walk. He is so weak that he cannot walk. So weak. Here you see an adjective. As a result, he cannot walk. That here indicates reason. He cannot, not reason, the outcome, result. He is so weak. Weak is reason, and that he cannot walk is outcome, cause and effect. So you have to follow that that is different that. So let us turn this into simple. We will have to use to in the place of so. Simple. He is too weak. And in the place of that, we will have to use to. And after to, he subject is not used, cannot, helping verb and negative form cannot be used. There remains the last word, verb walk is the main verb. So we'll have to use only walk. He is too weak to walk. Very easy form. If you find such type of complex sentence, so dot dot that, so dot dot that, if so dot dot that, this type of correlatives make any complex sentence, you will have to turn it into simple in this way. You will write the preceding portion, the first clause. You will have to use to in the place of so. Other words will remain same, and in the place of that you will have to use the to, and after to there will be used the main verb, the present form of the main verb, as I have done here. He is too weak to walk. He is too weak to, here so to, that to walk. He is too weak to walk. In the same way, you will turn such type of complex into simple. And next rule, rule 7. Though, although. If we find in any complex sentence though, although, that means if though or although makes any complex sentence, we will have to change this into simple in another way. That is, in spite of or despite. Despite is a preposition and in spite of is a phrase. In the case of despite, we need not use any another preposition despite of, but wrongly or mistakenly many use of after despite. But despite itself is a preposition, so you did not use any preposition after despite. But in spite of, you see, there is a preposition. And after that, what should you do? After that, the subject, the possessive of the subject, possessive of the subject, possessive of the subject plus ing plus extension plus comma plus other clause. It seems to you a little bit difficult, but when I'll give you example, it will be very easy, I think. Please follow me and I'll make it easier. And I'd like to request you to remain with me after at the end of the discussion. I'll give you some exceptional rules of complex to simple here. Though, although, though, complex, though he is poor, he is honest. Though he is poor, he is honest. He is poor. Though he is poor, he is honest. Here we see the conjunction at the beginning of this clause. So this is subordinate clause, and the clause without having any conjunction is main clause. So we'll have to change the first clause, that means subordinate clause here. Though he is poor, he is honest. Let us make it simple. Simple. In spite of his is the possessive form of his. He, him, his. He is nominative form, him is objective form, and his is possessive form here. In spite of, not he, not him, but possessive will have to use of the subject. So, in spite of his, and after that, in spite of his being, his poor, but he is honest. In spite of ing form, is we know is a to be verb, and be is the base form of to be verb. So we'll have to use ing form, ing to the base form of to be verb. In spite of his being poor, he is honest. In spite of this being poor, he is honest. Here, in spite of, we can turn this complex into simple by using some other expression. Suppose he's poor, being poor. We can use some other things in the place of these words. Suppose in spite of his poverty, in spite of his poverty, in spite of his poorness, we can use them also. In spite of his being poor, or in spite of his poverty. In that case, being will be omitted. In spite of his poverty, or in spite of his poorness, he is honest. If you want to keep the adjective intact, you will have to use being in the place of to be verb. I think this is clear to you. And let me move to next rule, 8. Here, noun clause into noun phrase. Noun clause, we know subordinate clauses are of 3 types: noun clause, adverb clause, and adjective clause. Noun clause, adverb clause, and adjective clause. Noun clause will turn into noun phrase. In a clause there is a subject, there is a verb, a finite verb, but in the case of a phrase, there is no any subject, there is no any finite verb. So phrase is a group of words functioning as a certain part of a speech. So we'll have to turn a noun clause into a noun phrase to turn such type of complex sentence into simple sentence. Let me give you some examples. It would be clear. Here, example is main here. Complex. Suppose I know where he lives. I know where he lives. Here, where he lives is noun clause. Where he lives. But I will have to turn this into noun phrase. We can make it noun phrase in different ways. Suppose I know his, I know his residence. That means living place. Also I can write here his living place. I know his residence, or I know his living place. Here, residence is a noun, living place is a noun phrase. So, noun or noun phrase. In this way, we will have to turn such type of complex sentence. Suppose, I know where he was born. Another example I may give you. I know where he was born. I know where he was born. Where he was born. You'll have to technically make the noun phrase. I will know birthplace. Birthplace is the noun phrase of this. I know where he was born. Simple. Simple. I know his birthplace. I know his birthplace. So, in this way, we'll have to turn such type of noun clause into noun phrase, and I may give you some other example. That he is honest is known to me. That he is honest is known to me. That he is honest is known to me. Is known to me. Here you see that he is honest is known to me. Here we'll have to follow which one is subordinate clause. We see that he is honest. This is subordinate clause. That is at the beginning of this sentence in this clause, so it would be changed. It should be changed. Here we can turn this noun clause into noun phrase in this way. His honesty. His honesty. So simple should be his honesty is known to me. His honesty is known to me. So, dear listener and dear learners, in this way it will turn noun clause into noun phrase for turning such type of complex into simple. 9. You know, relative pronoun is a factor in the case of complex sentence. Relative pronoun indicating subject. In this case, what should be done to make simple sentence? The rule seems to us very difficult, but when I give you example, it would be very clear. A relative pronoun indicating subject. When relative pronoun will act in favor of the subject, we'll have to omit the relative pronoun and also the to be verb. Here, let me give you an example. Complex. The boy who is good The boy who is good can win all. The boy who is good can win all. Here, who is relative pronoun and who indicates the boy. And boy is here subject. So, the relative pronoun indicating the subject. The relative pronoun is indicating the subject, boy, the boy. Here, we have to, if we want to make this type of complex into simple, we have to omit relative pronoun and the verb. Relative pronoun and the verb. And the adjective will come before the noun subject. It cannot be good the boy, it we know article is used before adjective. So here simple will be, but in the case of simple we usually use a in the place of the. A good boy can win all. A good boy can win all. In the same way, we can turn complex sentence into simple sentences. Suppose the man who is rich can buy anything. Suppose the man who is rich can buy anything. The man who is rich can buy anything. So in the same rule, who is will be omitted and the adjective will come between the article and noun. Simple here would be simple here. A rich man can buy anything. So this is the rule. You will have to omit the relative pronoun and also the to be verb, and the adjective will come between the article and noun subject. And next rule. Actually, time works for none. No time does fly. Relative pronoun, relative indicating the object. The same rule, but the change will be later in the later part of the sentence. Suppose complex. I saw a man who was lame. Here, who indicates a man, but a man is here object. I saw a man. I saw a man here. I subject, saw is verb. A man is here object. And who indicates the object? Man. So here, in the same way, who was will be omitted. And lame is adjective, it will come between the noun and article. So the simple will be I saw a lame man. I saw a lame man. I saw a lame man. Because adjective is used before the noun and after the article. So, a lame man. I saw a lame man. In the same way, you can, suppose you can have another example. I want to marry a girl who is beautiful. I want to marry a girl who is beautiful. That means, who is beautiful? I want to marry a girl who is beautiful. Who is beautiful? So, beautiful will come before the girl. I want to marry a beautiful girl. I want to help the people who are poor. I want to help the people who are poor. Who are will be omitted, and poor will come between, will come before the adjective, before the noun, object noun. Here, I'll help the poor people. I will help the poor people. I'll help the people who are poor. I'll help the poor people. This is. And rule number 11, relative. Without to be verb. Without to be verb. Indicating subject. Here you will have to do this. You will have to turn such type of complex sentence into simple with the help of ing, present participle, form of the verb. But how? Let me show you. Suppose the complex, the people who want relief, relief. The people who want relief, the people who want, it would be better if I write in another way, who want to get relief. Should stand in a line. They may go to another. The poor people or the people who want to get relief should go to the rich people, and there they may not make any hue and cry. Rather, they will have to stand in a queue or line in a disciplined way, so that the process cannot be affected. Here, the people who want to get relief. The people who want to get relief should stand in a line. In British English, we use a queue, and in American English, in a line. Okay, the people who want to get relief should stand in a line. Simple. Here, you see here there is no any to verb here. Here is ordinary verb want. Ordinary verb want. But I have given you the rule that you will have to use ing. So in that case, where with which verb should we add ing? Here, want, and accordingly the relative pronoun will be omitted, and ing form will be added to the verb want. So the people wanting to get relief should stand in a line. Very easy. Only relative pronoun will be omitted, and the main verb will take ing form. So the people who will be omitted, wanting to get relief should stand in a line. So same will be here. After the relative pronoun, we will say an ordinary verb, and we will have to add ing with the ordinary verb, and other words will remain same. The people wanting to get relief should stand in a line. So in the same way, we can make some other simple sentences. Suppose the man who tries to become rich should work hard. Here, the man trying to become rich should work hard. So in this way, you can you will have to follow the differences of the sentences. Who is here, but the verb is here ordinary. It is not. It is not to be verb, so it is different. We'll have. And relative pronoun indicating relative, yes, without to be verb, indicating object. In this case also, we will have to use ing. And let me give you an example. That is, I bought a house which belonged to Mr. Khan. Here I bought a house which belonged to Mr. Khan. I bought a house here which is relative pronoun and it indicates the object house, a house. So the change will be here in the later part of the sentence. Here is which is here relative pronoun, that means conjunction, and after conjunction this portion is subordinate clause, so that change will be here. You will have to do one thing here, which will be omitted and belong will change into ing form, belonging, only this. Simple. I bought a house. I bought a house which is relative pronoun, that means conjunction here it will be omitted, and belonged, though past form of the verb, it will turn into present form to take ing. Belonging to Mr. Khan. I bought a house belonging to Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan. This system. Surely I am taking a long time, to turn complex into simple is very difficult in one sense, because its range is very vast, and dear listeners and learners, if you follow the rules of turning complex into simple, it will be easy, it will make everything easy. You will be able to turn compound into simple easily, and everything, interchanges of a simple complex compound will be easy to you, because most of the rules are discussed in the case of turning complex into simple. So next one is 13. Next, rule number 13. Here, relative indicating subject equal to past participle. I'll give only one example of this. Suppose past participle phrase. The machine made the machine which is made in Japan is running well. Very easy example I've given you. The machine which is made in Japan is running well. Here you will omit the relative pronoun and also to be verb. The machine which is made in Japan is running well. You will omit only relative pronoun and help to be verb from here, and so the simple will be here. The machine made in Japan, only made in Japan. It's a past participle phrase. Japan is running well. Running well. And number 14, relative indicating object, past participle phrase. Actually, so long you have been with me and you have learned and you have followed many things, so I am going to shorten the rules here. Past participle, you have followed these in the case of subject, relative pronoun indicating subject. Here we will see object. Suppose complex, I bought a shirt. I bought a shirt which was made in Bangladesh. You know, Bangladesh is very much only second to China, famous in garments industries. So I can buy a nice shirt made in Bangladesh. I bought a shirt which was made in Bangladesh. So which was will be omitted here. Very easy. If you follow, you'll see it is very much easy. I bought a shirt. I bought a shirt made in Bangladesh. I bought a shirt made in Bangladesh. So if you follow this, it is not difficult. We are at the end of the simply only another one or two rules, maybe. And then next and the last one, I would like to shorten now. Case in apposition. Case in apposition. I'll give you an example. Mr. Khan, who is a famous doctor, is working in the USA. Here, Mr. Khan, who is a famous doctor, is working in the USA. Case in apposition is also noun phrase and it sits after another noun, indicating the preceding noun as an extended part or as a post modifier. Here, you see Mr. Khan, we can omit who also is. And you will have to use only two commas before and after the apposition. This is the last one. Simple. Mr. Khan, who is, will be omitted, comma. In the case in apposition, we have to use comma before and after the apposition. A famous doctor, comma. You will have to use here also another comma. Is working in the USA. Actually, dear listeners, dear viewers, dear learners, wherever you are, you may be my students of my college, Major General Mount Adarsh University College. You may be students of intermediate first year or second year, or maybe graduation students, students of graduation classes, or maybe the students or teachers or people of other walks of life or professions